My 28 male, wife 32 female, keeps throwing divorce in my face over everything. I just agreed and left. I'm currently staying with my sister. My wife and I have been together for 5 years, married for 4. We've known each other for years prior. We have 1 kid together who is 4, and I am the primary breadwinner in the house as she is a stay-at-home mom. It was her choice not to go back to work. For the last year and a half, we have been having arguments about 1 to 2 times a month. To be clear, I do help out with our daughter. I clean, cook, and I'm involved with both of them. The first time she said she wanted a divorce was when we got into an argument when my sister called and asked if she could stay with us for a bit as she was having relationship problems, which is ironic now. I said she could, and my wife was not happy about that. I pointed out that her friend stayed with us a couple of months prior for 5 weeks and didn't do anything around the house. Plus, she was just there. No discussion, no nothing. She was a stranger to me and my daughter, while my sister is lovely and has a great relationship with our daughter, and I thought my wife was as well. She ended up staying with us for a week, helping out around the house, cooking, cleaning, and watching our daughter when needed. I thought we both forgave each other and moved on. The fights are usually over something small. 90% are not started by me. I have suggested therapy and counseling, but she always said we never needed it. Well, I had it last night. She picked a fight saying I was spending too much time at work, and that she feels abandoned, and that I'm not a good father, then ended her rant with I want a divorce. I stood up and told her that the only reason I work so much is because she can't stop spending our money on things we don't need or use. She refused to get a job or go to school to help her out. I provide for the family, for my daughter. I'm always at her important dates, functions, doctor's appointments, anything she needs, while she refused to get help through therapy or counseling. I don't want this anymore, so I'll have my lawyer send her the papers when she writes it up. I got my daughter's things and left with her to my sister's. It has been 2 days now and she keeps calling and texting saying she is sorry, that she didn't mean it. She wants to go to counseling and therapy. She needs me, she misses me, etc. I don't know what to do. I love her. She is a good mother, but I can't do this anymore. Internet strangers, please help. Yes, I have a lawyer for my family to work, and I have known her since I was a teen. Now for the top advice. This is still only a snippet of your life. You still know your wife and life better than we do. Make the best decision for your daughter. That's all you can do. Toxic parents are the freaking worst, especially when they can't get over their BS for their kids' sake. You got this, King. Always put your daughter first. I agree with all of this besides putting your daughter first. I'm a mother, so let me explain. Put you first, and here is why. If you're in no type of mental condition to provide the best care for your daughter, because your wife is a stressor so she makes you stressed, then it falls on the daughter, either inadvertently or sometimes otherwise. What good would he be to himself or his daughter if he's unhappy and stressed? We as parents are always told to put our kids first, but our kids count on us to provide what they need. How good are we to them if we are unhappy? Put you first, while taking your daughter into consideration second. Either way, it seems that you both will be there for your daughter, so she will be good. But think about whether you want to spend the rest of your life with someone who doesn't even consider her own mental health, albeit yours, when y'all get into squabbles. Also, the top comment is right. This only is one portion of your life. We don't know the rest of the details. So again, do what's best for you, and the rest will follow either way. This is a very solid point. I don't think OP has done anything wrong, but honestly, his wife's behavior is of someone who is lacking internal stimulation. If she had a job or a proper routine outside of the house, maybe she wouldn't be picking fights over everything and anything. My partner got injured last year for 3 months. The fact that he couldn't go on runs and swimming sessions with his friends made him so unbearable. Same for me when I took the work from home option to the extreme and became a bit annoying too. Thankfully, none of us called for divorce nor offended each other. I gently told my partner that it was clear that he needed his time with his friends, and he gently told me that I needed to go more to the office to change my routine. Staying in a comfort zone can be dangerous if we are never challenged. I had the exact same situation. After the 500th time of her saying we should get a divorce, I finally agreed. Of course, her version of the story later was that I left her, but even that wasn't worth arguing over. My best advice is that even after divorce, you will need to work things out with her on things regarding your daughter. So don't do anything mean or spiteful during the process. Wait a while to see other people after you move out, or she will assume you are cheating on her with any new person. You can't make other people happy. She needs to be responsible for her own happiness. Don't be angry. Just say, I love you and I want you to be happy. But it's clear I can't do that. So you're right, that we're better off getting a divorce. And then don't waver on that decision. If you don't mind, I might end up saying something similar to that. People that say things are fine and refuse counseling while blaming all the problems on the other spouse, then promise wild changes to stop the divorce, aren't to be trusted. They're perfectly content being taken care of and having no responsibility for their own happiness. They make promises to keep you from changing and then go back to what is comfortable and easy for them. Right now, your stay-at-home wife's whole world is upended. She's losing her comfortable home, will need to share custody of the child she had 100% of the time. She's going to have to support herself. I'm not a lawyer, but where I live, alimony payments aren't for life. They're often just half the duration of the marriage. The courts will see she's young and capable of having a career still. Child support payment are until the child is 18 at a percentage of your income and how much custody you have. So she knows she messed up. My advice is that you go through with the divorce, even if you love her, and consider going back after you've seen her change. She gets a job, she gets therapy. Next story. I left my husband the day after our youngest moved out. He says I've deceived him all these years. My female 49 husband, male 51, cheated on me. It was 10 years ago when I got a call from school saying that our youngest, then 9, was sick and needed to go home. When we arrived, I heard them in our bedroom. I panicked, made loud noises to let them know they weren't alone and that our daughter was with me. I'm crying just writing this. I still cry whenever I remember that day. The first year after that was the hardest on me. I felt so insignificant and inadequate, ugly and undesirable. We started therapy and my husband promised to do anything to make it work again. We moved apartments and bought new furniture, and I started a new habit of changing the sheets every night before bed. But all of this wasn't as effective as that one morning when I woke up and realized that I wasn't in love with my husband anymore. After this realization, everything seemed easier moving forward. I saw him as a roommate and a great support raising the children, a good friend. We love our children and we wanted the best for them. And for these next 10 years, we hardly ever fought. And we raised 3 beautiful, happy, and successful young people. When I realized that I didn't love him anymore, I also stopped caring what if he did it again. It was one of my nightmares in the beginning, but I didn't care anymore as long as I slept in clean sheets every night. Around Christmas, our youngest daughter, who is now 19, got her first contract for her own apartment. And that's when I knew that I was free. I also set in motion my plans of moving out and getting my divorce. I found myself an apartment too, and I thought my husband could live in our apartment until we settled everything up. But when I told him and handed him the divorce papers, he was in shock. And when I moved out the day after my daughter on April 2, he was even more shocked and distraught. Now he is telling me that I have deceived him all these years, acting like I was fine when I wasn't, while he lived in regrets every day for how he hurt me. That I am cold and calculated and vindictive. I don't recognize any of these accusations. I don't see things that way. I saw it as me, and him of course, doing the best with what I was dealt to make a happy and content life for our children. Our whole family really, and I think that I succeeded. What more could anyone ask of me? Edit. I'm thankful that you are reaching out. I'm sorry I can't chat with all of you. I will try to answer women/men who are going/went through similar situations and I want to help. Yes, we're still intimate. It started again 2 to 3 years later. We used protection though because I wouldn't let him touch me without. I said we hardly ever fought, but if we did, it was about intimacy and the rubbers. Also, it went from 2 to 3 times a week to 2 to 3 times a year. In my mind, if he cheated when we were very intimate and active, he was probably cheating now. It bothered me less and less with years. I don't know how long they were sleeping together. I don't know who she was. I never wanted to know. I just saw her once and that was the only thing I didn't want to know in therapy. I don't know if he still slept with her or others. I just assumed he did because it was easier for me to expect the worst. I never said love you to him again, something we used to say often before. He continued saying it and always told me that he would wait for me to say it back. I didn't need to leave to find happiness sooner. I was happy and lucky having my children and my home. I didn't need more. But now I see no reason or happiness in staying. I never did what I did to get back at him or to get revenge. My children know I have left. They are sad, but my reason was good enough. I was out of love with him. They don't know the details and we are keeping it this way. They don't need to know anything. No, I don't change my beddings every night now. I have no need. Acting like I was fine when I wasn't. Meanwhile, she changes the bedsheet every night and cannot be intimate without protection. Dude has no concept of what fine looks like. I never again told him I love you in 10 years. Not once. I'm not sure how we didn't come to the conclusion that she was checked out. I think I'd noticed something was up after less than a week. Way too many men interpret checked out as everything is fine. Because when most women check out, they stop fighting since they just don't care anymore. Men think no fighting means the problem is solved. This is what happened to me. My ex punched me in the face, and I checked out for 2 years until I had saved enough money to leave. He thought we were doing good because we didn't fight anymore. You didn't deceive him. You have been fine all these years. You just never told him why, and he clearly never asked. This is the most telling thing. He never noticed how disengaged she became. You generally don't behave the same with a roommate as you do a partner, and intimacy can be just that. It doesn't have to have the deep meaning it can have between two lovers. I see they went to therapy, but I'm not sure it was a good therapist, or if the ex-husband really put in the work. And he apparently thought her changing the sheets every night after he cheated was a normal behavior, and didn't at all indicate that she still didn't trust him. Your husband has some audacity blaming you for deceiving him. He was cheating on you in your own home. He was living in guilt because of his own actions. If this was me, I wouldn't care about what he says about this. I wouldn't really even bother giving an explanation. Last story. I feel betrayed by my soon-to-be ex-husband and his new girlfriend. Yesterday at my 35-week prenatal appointment, my soon-to-be ex-husband let me know that he's dating a new chick. To be honest, I felt nothing of the knowledge that he is dating someone new, because this is the reason we are separated, and it has taken me a while to break the feelings I have for this man. Now, what pisses me off is this fool telling me that girlfriend is wanting to be part of my baby's life, and that she wants to meet me blah blah blah, which I politely put up boundaries and shut down her being involved in our kid's life until they have a more serious relationship. He tells me she lives in a different state and other inconsequential bull that I really didn't want to know, but whatever. Also, he swore me to secrecy about this, and that he doesn't want his family to find out about this girl, because my ex-mother-in-law still blames his infidelity on his anti-depression medication, and that my baby would need its parents together, and that we need to work in our marriage. Even though I recently found out that my ex-brother-in-law, mother-in-law's oldest son, cheated on his wife, and that my mother-in-law is all for them getting divorced, and that she wants sister-in-law to get everything. Well, here's the betrayal. This girl not only lives in our town, but works at my job and has been for months. She knows me and had met me on a few occasions, and I feel super violated. This man lied to me about this girl and thinks it's okay. When I got upset about finding out the truth, he made me feel like I'm crazy, and that his girlfriend didn't want the drama. WTF. I feel like my place of work had been invaded, and that them keeping this secret for so long is so deceitful. I'm about to have this man's baby. We are separated. We have only been separated for 6 freaking months. How is any of this real right now? I feel like I'm about to walk on stage of Jerry Springer and deal with crazy girlfriend drama. I know people deal with worse, but damn, why me? Why can he move on while I'm here, a human incubator who he beat down emotionally for 5 years, and he can move on to someone else and then not warn me that that person invaded my place of work and neither had a boss to say a word? I don't care if he has a girlfriend. I was supportive when he told me, but for some reason, the lying and her being part of my workplace caused me so much distress. Now for the comments. Honestly, it sounds like your ex-mother-in-law knows how bad her son is and doesn't want to have to take him back on because you guys are splitting. That's what happened with my parents. My grandmother knew how her son was and got mad that my mom kicked him out. She was so resentful that she stopped checking in on me and my brother. My ex is a difficult man to deal with, but his family has a lot of control and influence on him, and it caused a lot of issues in our relationship. They would make input in our life, and he would put the family opinion in higher regard than mine. The cheating was really the last straw. My ex had a lot of other issues that I just ignored. Sounds like it is a very good thing you got out. Yeah, I can agree. But unfortunately, I will have to share a child with these people. I also am still grieving a 6-year relationship, But at the end of the day, the bad outweighs the good. No idea why mother-in-law is going in this direction when she went the other way for her other daughter-in-law. If your soon-to-be ex is particularly challenging to live with, it may have something to do with not wanting him to come home to her. You just take care of you and your soon-to-be arriving baby. Don't worry about them. I hope you have friends and family who are supportive around you. Jesus, it really says something about the character of their mother if both sons cheated on their long-term partners. I am assuming the sister-in-law doesn't have kids, and by traditional standards, it is easier to support her leaving her other son than it is to support you since she likely holds the ideals that a kid should have two parents, as if marriage changes that. Put mother-in-law in timeout and explain she can either support you or get lost. Sister-in-law has 4 children with brother-in-law. I agree that she deserves all his worth because he's a POS. But my issue is that I was being basically pushed to reconcile, and she was basically given permission. Unfortunately, they only care about image, and to this day, it's not public knowledge about either of her sons' divorces based on the info I have been given.